Hello, everybody out there, all of you amazing rap stars. Welcome to our show today. And today is going to be a little bit different as my co-host, Kenny Fulton. Kenny, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Romeo? How you feeling?
Feeling fantastic, feeling hyped, feeling ready. Today, we're going to be talking about goals and the purpose of goals. And this has been something that's been a conversation topic in our team. And it's been something that's been heavy on my mind. And you know, I'll start with the statement that I told my team when I first brought this out. Like, I am a fiend for positive messaging. Even if it's the same message, you may hear it slightly different. And something that I got from Zig Ziglar a long time ago is that motivation is like deodorant. If you don't use it every day, you're going to end up stinking. And then Jim Rohn, of course, would always say, you got to fix your stinking thinking, right? And so today we're going to talk about goals and the purpose of goals. All right. Does that sound good, Kenny?
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
All right, cool. So I asked this question earlier to our team and I said, who has goals? And how many people rose their hand, Kenny?
Who has goals? About half.
Yeah. So, and written goals, right? And so like half the team raised their hand. And then I asked them a follow-up question. And I said, how many of you have those goals because Romeo harasses you and asks you to put your goals down, or because those goals are important to you and you really want to reach them, right?
Right.
And what was kind of the general consensus?
Most people, it's been deliberate because you've been pushing the issue lately.
Yeah. And you know, kind of 50-50, right? And it's a habit, you know, I mean, building goals. And when you come into our organization, that's something that I'm really passionate about, is like, put it down on paper. Once you put it on paper, it's incredible what can happen. As a matter of fact, I was even listening to, people out there may have heard it, but Tiffany Haddish has one skit where she's in a comedy show, and she's talking about when she was homeless, and she's talking about how Kevin Hart found out that she was homeless, and he told her to go and write down her goals, and then all of a sudden her goals started coming through, and she was like, this is incredible. If you haven't listened to it, go and YouTube it and find it. You're going to definitely love it. I'm sure Marcus can probably find that and put it in the links, but it's really funny and it's also powerful. So talking about goals, I think what number one I want to focus on is, it's so important to have your goals written down, because if they're not written down, then you can't focus on them. And we know that what you focus on expands. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, you obviously are a high achiever, or you're just the type of person that you enjoy learning something. You want to be in the know. Otherwise, you wouldn't be taking the time to listen to a podcast. You'd either be watching TV, listening to the radio, and there's nothing wrong with those things. But obviously, you're a class above what most people want to do with their time. So kudos to you to begin with. All right. Yet, how many of you out there have goals that are written down, that you look at consistently, that you focus on, and that you drive towards? Okay. So that's my first question. However, there's a twist today. Okay. It's not Romeo pushing, get goals. What was it that we talked about today that the real purpose of these goals are, Kenny?
The real purpose of your goals is to make sure that you are coming up with a plan on how you're going to achieve them.
Yeah, for sure. And what happens in the process of pursuing your goals?
You grow as a person.
You grow as a person. The goals are not about you hitting the goal, right? Hopefully your goals are way up here, that it's the infinite game, like Simon Sinek talks about, that you'll never get to that goal, but that you're always striving. And in that process, you're growing, you're getting better, and you're becoming the person that you want to be. And I heard this quote the other day where the guy said, stop focusing on all the things that you get when you hit your goals and start focusing on who you become as a result of pursuing those goals. And I went, yes, great reminder. It is not about the things, it is about who you become through that process. And I think that is really what the most important message that we can deliver here today is, put your goals down, drive towards your goals, yet don't beat yourself up if you don't hit those goals. Make sure that you're focusing on who you're becoming. Are your goals hard enough that they're challenging you and pushing you and driving you? Can you give us an example of a goal that you've set, either that you hit and it made you feel great, or didn't feel great, or a goal that you didn't hit, but maybe actually made you feel great because of the growth that you had in the process?
Well, I think one of the things that we do really well is we try to balance work, and our personal goals.
100%.
So let's say 2019, we
Mhm.
kind of ended the year saying we need to make our goals for 2020. And, we're both very ambitious. So we set high goals. We want to challenge ourselves to get ourselves to the next level. But then there's also about like, what are your personal goals, right? So one of the really cool things that happened was we were able to check quarterly, and then semi-annually, and then you get towards the last quarter of, are you on track or not? And maybe those goals were a little too ambitious, the ones I set for myself last year, and I didn't hit them. But
Mhm.
what I noticed was that when I looked at the numbers, I did way more than I expected to do transaction wise. So closing 21 transactions was a lot.
Huge in your
Um,
first full year.
yeah, yep. For the first full year, that was great.
Mhm.
But then it also kind of helped me, like that feeling of maybe financially not hitting the goals I wanted to hit. Um, that impacted some of the personal goals I had set for myself, like buying
Mhm.
a boat, right?
Sure.
So now going into 2021, still ambitious. We still had to push the envelope. We know what we could accomplish, and as with us growing the team, there was also a need to grow, to hit those goals, so we could support the team as well in that growth.
Mhm.
But one of the really cool things that's happened so far is that now the market has also been very beneficial. So transaction wise, I haven't hit the same number of transactions I expected to hit, but volume wise, I'm doing pretty well. So my financial goals, I feel I'm going to definitely meet this year. So it's definitely a good way of not just, if I was just doing things as it kind of came along and letting life take me wherever it was going to take me, I definitely would not have hit the number of units I hit last year.
100%.
And then with this year, my financial goals, if I wasn't keeping track and monitoring and see if I'm on pace, it really would have dictated like how I planned my whole summer out.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So there's a lot to unpack in there. So first and foremost, you said something, you go, I didn't hit the financial goals, but I did way more transactions than I thought I was going to do. Let's talk about the growth that created for you in your knowledge for
Hmm.
your business long
Right.
term. What are some of the things that did for you professionally and also probably personally, knowing that you could, wow, first full year I did 21 transactions, which is technically about 15 more than the national average of most agents.
Hmm.
Congrats.
I'm sure. Well, number one, one of the things we speak about is as licensed agents, we need to be experts in the sales contract.
Yes.
So if I closed 21 transactions, imagine how many offers I wrote. It was probably quadruple that, right?
Yes.
So, and then just like experience, having conversations with buyers, having conversation with sellers, having conversations with investors, or even just navigating, the systems that we use, Bright, Century, all the tools that we have available to us. One of the really cool things that I noticed about you when we first started working with each other is even off of just your phone, you were pretty efficient at using all the tools that a phone can provide for you, because we're on the road a lot, right?
Sure.
So dictating text, right? Which sometimes they come off a little bit
Yeah.
funny if it doesn't catch exactly. Then you're like, okay, I think he's trying to say this, right? Setting notes and reminders for yourself, things that you have to follow up on. You don't have a pen and a pad when you're on the road, but
Right.
you need to make sure that you accomplish this task later on, right? So I think it's almost kind of like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So, you don't just go right into a game. You
Right.
have to go to practice, right? So that first full year for me was about going into the gym every day, working out. And then when it's game time, you feel ready, conditioned, and then the mental and physical condition to handle what the market is going to throw your way. But now with intention, saying, okay, now I understand how to accomplish this goal. In the very beginning, you might have a goal, but you may not know how to accomplish it. And the best thing that you can do is model yourself after somebody who's already achieved those goals, or
Sure.
join a team, so you can model, a formula,
Yep.
and then also benefit off of the expert advice of the people around you. If you're out there on your own, if I was trying to go at this by myself, number one, I couldn't have even done that many transactions. Number two, I probably would have made so many errors that I'd be out of business by the second year, even if I even came close to that, because you need people around you to help guide you in the right path, and give you that knowledge and shorten that learning curve.
Sure. Sure. Awesome. I think there's a great message in there, right? Like, I think anybody that's in the real estate industry, they probably at some point in time, they toy with, should I join a team, but I don't want to give up half of my commission? When you said something really key there, you said, if I wasn't on a team, I probably would not have. I would never say you definitely couldn't have, because you're awesome. So don't ever say that you definitely wouldn't be able to. Yet chances are sure it probably would have been a lot more difficult. And yeah, you probably would have made a lot more mistakes. No doubt. However, you saw the value in saying, you know what, I would rather get 50% of 21 transactions, which really would equivalent to me doing 10 on my own in my first year, versus some agents go, I'll just do it on my own. Why would I give anybody any money? And then they do 3 transactions in that year. And if you just simply do the math, they lost.
Right.
They totally lost. Right. So I think that's a really good point, and that's part of that growth, right? Like the goals, and then how do I get there? And then how can I grow through that mentally? How can I grow through that? And here's another really key part that we were talking about. Social media is crazy, right? How many people are in your social media feed that look like they are killing it? They've got the best life ever.
Oh man, 90%.
90%, right? They're beautiful, they're fit. They got nice cars, they're going on vacations, they sold another house, or whatever it is that they might be doing professionally. Obviously, we're here talking about real estate. And isn't it easy to look and go, man, how come I'm not where they are? I feel like I should be where they are.
Yeah.
Right. It's super easy. And then maybe you have a conversation with them and you realize, man, they're a disaster. They're a mess, just like I am, or just like we are. Like, okay, they're doing it somehow, or maybe they had an extra year, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. It doesn't matter. But the saying that I love to share back with people that I heard at some point was, don't compare your insides to somebody else's outsides. Right. Wow. Meaning, don't compare what you have going on inside of your mind, inside of your heart, inside of your body with what you think you're perceiving that somebody else is doing. Because just because they appear to be doing great doesn't really mean that they're doing great, right? How about this? We prioritize family quite a bit, right? We definitely take a lot of time to spend with our family. You get the opportunity to take vacations with your family. You went to Hawaii this year. I've still never been to Hawaii. I can't wait to do that. That's on my bucket list for sure. And there may be people out there that are absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
Yet, what's their family life look like?
Right.
Are they truly successful if they make a lot of money, but their family never sees them? Maybe for them, but I know in our world, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think that those are some of the things to really focus on when we're talking about goals, is like, put the goals out there. Mm-hmm. Put them out there with the purpose to stretch you so that you can really, really grow. Because that's the purpose. The purpose of your goals is to stretch you and to make you grow so that you can become a better person, a better version of yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, right? And then don't focus on what other people are doing. Focus on you. Focus on yourself. Just like they say in the airplane. What do they say in the airplane?
Put on your own mask before you help your neighbor.
Right. So worry about yourself first, or you can't do anything else outside of that, right? You've got to make sure that you do that. I heard a really, really great, clearly I'm always trying to ingest information. It was, oh man, I'm gonna draw a blank here. Talking about his vision and his mission. I think it was Jay-Z. He was talking to, I think, Mike Tyson. And he said, no, it was LL Cool J talking to Mike Tyson. Okay. It was in a podcast of some sort. LL Cool J said this. He said, above all else, put your mission and your purpose. Above all else, put your mission and your purpose, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
Right. Your mission and your purpose. Here's a big issue with that though. What's the problem with most people?
Maybe they don't know where they're going.
They don't know where the heck they're going. They don't know their mission. They don't know their purpose. And full circle, why? They're probably not thinking about it, right? Yeah. You were going to say, I think what you were going to say is they're probably not writing goals down, right?
Yeah. Letting life take them wherever it goes.
Right. Exactly. And we say all the time, what do we say? Control the day. Don't let the day control you. Run the day. Right. Don't let the day run you. Right. Same thing in life. Everything that we do, these goals help to almost set you up for success. And I don't mean success like, yes, I sold $15 million and that mean I made X hundred thousands of dollars, right? Great. Wonderful. What are you going to do with that money? Hopefully something good, because at some point there's a diminishing return, right? Yet, who are you becoming in that process? Are you becoming a better leader, or are you becoming a worse leader? Because we know the more money you have, a lot of people say, well, when I have money, then I'll do this, or when I have this. But we know that a lot of money, all it does is it makes you more of what you already are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're a really kind person who gives all the time and then you make a lot of money, you're probably going to give even more.
Right.
Yet if you're not such a great person, or you're a very selfish person, or you're an alcoholic, or you like to drink, let's not even say you're an alcoholic, or you have some bad habits and you get a lot of money, guess what? Those habits are probably going to get worse.
Yeah.
Right. So make sure that you're focusing on who you are and who you're becoming, because that's more important than what you have.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's key, right? Like, who do you want to be?
Yes.
You know, how do you see yourself now? Who do you want to be? One of the things I think is really great about writing down your goals is that, you know, if you're focused not just on the monetary things, but also like, you know, do I want to spend more time at home? Now you're kind of forming your goals around the life that you want to live. So if I want to spend more time with my family or have more time to go on vacations, then my goals have to be centered around how to accomplish it while achieving these things. So if time management is not one of your strengths, so let's say that you want to close 5 deals next month, right? And you need to make X amount of phone calls. If it's not on your calendar when you're going to make those calls, then you might not be making them during the times that you want to make them, because you procrastinated. Now you're trying to hit these numbers, but now you have to bite into soccer time. You know, you have to bite into, you know, spending time with your family on a weekend, or doing all these showings on a Friday night, you know, because you didn't plan accordingly or set expectations, you know, for your clients.
Right.
So I think really focusing on, like you said, who you want to be, and having your goals tailored to getting you in that direction, while also pushing you in the path of where you want to be personally. You know, that's going to be the better way, rather than just focusing on the financial aspect of it, and not planning that way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you know, it's easy to allow life to do that, to take over time that you set aside for something that truly is more important, because we know that the purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. FUND, everybody, not fun, FUN. The purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. That's your life that you choose. Okay. And that, I, I hate to keep doing this, but I watched another thing with Gary Vee. He said there's over 7 billion people in the world right now that all of them need to redefine what success means. Because if you're getting up and you're miserable and all you're doing is chasing money, but yet you're miserable, then you're getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And I couldn't agree more, because everything out there is more, 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 more. How can I get more? How can I get more? How can I get more? But that won't make you happy. More won't make you happy. You have to be happy first. You have to figure out what's going to make you happy, what your purpose is, what your mission is, what your values are. And then you can seek to find that happiness and fulfillment. And then while you're chasing down business, you're just growing. You're just growing and growing and growing. Right. All right. I think to close this off, I'm gonna leave with a great quote that I've heard multiple times for everybody to really chew on. Okay. And the quote is this: if you truly want to live a full life, then imagine your funeral and what people are going to be saying about you. And if what they're saying about you would be who you are today and it makes you unhappy, then make the changes so that the narrative is what you want it to be.
Wow. It's good.
Powerful stuff right there,
Yeah.
right? Powerful stuff right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not the smartest person. I am an R&D guy, rip off and duplicate. However, there are people that have walked before you. You do not need to go out and recreate the wheel. Make sure that you're writing down goals. If you guys are confused, if any of this was too much and you're just curious, get at us. Kenny, where can they reach you?
Instagram at Realtor Kenny Fulton, or you can text me 443-763-0958, and Facebook is Kenny Fulton.
Absolutely. Guys, if you want to reach me for something important like this, shoot me a text message at 240-401-8023 or an email at romeo@redanchorproperties.com. All right, rap stars, we are out. Kenny, thank you for a beautiful show.
Absolutely. Talk to you later.